Eat Wonder Bread. You want to go bigger and stronger, don't you?
You might be surprised to learn that while these foods are commonly enjoyed in the United States, they're prohibited in many parts of the world. Here are 50 American foods banned in other countries. Box mac and cheese. One of America's favorite easy meals is on this list. Many American foods, like Kraft mac and cheese, contain artificial food dye, which gives them their vibrant colors. While Kraft has pledged to use natural ingredients, some other brands still use yellow No. 5 and No. 6 dyes to achieve similar hues. These additives are prohibited in countries like Austria and Norway and parts of Europe due to their links to hyperactivity, cancer risks, and allergies. In response to these concerns, some American brands are gradually phasing out these artificial dyes from their products. However, these dyes aren't just in mac and cheese because they're also in potato chips, jams, candy, drinks, pet food, shampoo, and medicines, highlighting the widespread use of artificial additives in the American food industry. Number 49. Froot Loops. Froot Loops and Fruity Pebbles contain numerous artificial dyes, which are also common in many other foods we consume. The dye found in Froot Loops has been linked to inhibiting nerve cell development, prompting countries like Norway, Finland, Austria, France, and the UK to ban its use within their borders. So if you're craving Froot Loops, you might have to search for alternatives, as they're unavailable in those countries. Similarly, Fruity Pebbles are also banned in these regions, so they're not an option either. This highlights a growing concern globally about the potential health risks associated with artificial food dyes, leading to regulatory actions in several countries to restrict their use in food products. Number 48. Twinkies. Like we've said, in the EU, warning labels are mandatory for products containing artificial dyes. Moreover, countries such as Austria, Finland, and Norway opt not to stock Twinkies due to concerns about their ingredients. Yellow 5 dye, commonly found in various foods, including cubed or powdered chicken broth, breakfast cereals, Jello, and Kool-Aid, possess potential health risks. Other items like pasta, pancake mix, frosting, pickles, macaroni and cheese, and creamy orange cheeses also contain this dye. It can be present in yogurt, butter, margarine, ice cream, popsicles, many sodas, alcohol mixers, some beers, boxed dinners like cheese-flavored rice or pasta, flavored milk, and orange-colored chips. This extensive list underlines the pervasive presence of artificial dyes across a wide range of food and beverage products. Number 47. Skittles. Skittles is also on this list for the same reasons. Whether you indulge Skittles for a nostalgic treat or share them with your kids occasionally, you're ingesting additives. Banned in multiple countries. Skittles contain yellow 5 and yellow 6, both artificial food dyes associated with potential negative effects. Some studies suggest a link between yellow 5 and increased hyperactivity in children, while research on yellow 6 in rats indicates potential connection to testicular and adrenal tumors. Several European countries have fully banned yellow 5 and yellow 6, and all EU member states mandate food brands to disclose the use of these dyes on their product labels. This regulatory measure ensures consumers are informed about the presence of these additives and can make choices aligned with their preferences and health considerations. Number 46. Instant mashed potatoes. Instant mashed potatoes offer quick comfort when cooking feels daunting, but some brands like Hungry Jack's mashed potatoes contain a preservative possibly associated with cancer risks. Butylated hydroxyanisole, BHA, serves as an additive to prevent fat from spoiling in certain foods. While it maintains the freshness of shelf-stable products, the Environmental Working Group, EWG, highlights concerns that BHA could potentially be carcinogenic to humans, despite its continued use in certain American foods. BHA is prohibited in the UK and Japan due to safety apprehensions. This raises questions about the regulatory standards for food additives and underscores the importance of informed choices regarding the consumption of processed foods containing preservatives like BHA. Number 45. U.S. chicken. Chlorine-washed chicken doesn't exactly help your appetite, does it? In the U.S., chickens undergo a standard washing process with chlorine solution before hitting the market. This antimicrobial treatment serves to diminish the risk of salmonella contamination and other harmful bacteria that can cause foodborne illnesses. But the European Union has upheld a ban on American chicken since 1997, primarily due to this practice. The EU's concerns don't revolve around chlorine consumption itself. Rather, it questions the necessity of extensive cleaning procedures. The EU advocates for maintaining a high level of safety throughout the entire food production process, from farm to table. It emphasizes the importance of implementing stringent hygiene standards at every stage, rather than relying heavily on intensive cleaning methods at the end of the process to compensate for earlier lapses. Number 44. Maraschino cherries. Again, color takes a turn for the worse. In some countries, America's beloved cocktail garnish, the maraschino cherry, is actually off limits. Originating during the Prohibition era, this syrupy sweet fruit was initially crafted to adorn non-alcoholic beverages. Interestingly, the American maraschino cherry is an imitation of a Croatian specialty made from Marascara cherries. What sets the American rendition apart is the addition of artificial food dye red number 40, which imparts that iconic vibrant hue. Red number 40 ranks among the most commonly used food dyes, but also stirs significant controversy. Concerns have been raised about its potential links to allergies, migraines, and mental disorders, particularly in children. As a result, its inclusion in food products has sparked ongoing debate regarding its safety and potential health effects, prompting scrutiny from both consumers and regulatory bodies alike. Number 43. Little Debbie Swiss Rolls. In certain countries, Little Debbie's iconic smiling face isn't greeted with open arms due to the presence of certain food dyes in their tasty snacks. Specifically, Little Debbie's Swiss Rolls contain artificial food coloring dyes as Yellow 5 and Red 40, which have been flagged for their potential carcinogenic properties. European Union mandates warning labels on products containing these dyes, cautioning consumers about their potential adverse effects on children's activities and attention. However, countries like Norway and Austria have gone a step further by outright banning the snack altogether. On the other side, in the United States, there is no requirements for such warning labels, highlighting the differences in regulatory standards and consumer protection measures across various regions. This discrepancy underscores the potential of understanding and scrutinizing ingredient lists, particularly in processed foods, to make important choices about consumption. Number 42. Mountain Dew. We're all aware that Mountain Dew isn't the healthiest beverage choice, but if you're still a fan of doing the dew, it's important to note that the lemon lime drink contains bromated vegetable oil, BVO. This food additive, banned in Japan and the European Union, contains bromine, an element found in flame retardants. According to the CDC, consuming bromine can lead to various health issues such as headaches, memory loss, impaired balance, and coordination, and negative effects on the skin. In response to concerns, PepsiCo announced in 2014 its intention to remove the dangerous chemicals from its soft drinks. However, BVO remained on Mountain Dew's ingredient list until 2020, raising questions about the timeline for implementing safety measures and the prioritization of consumer health in the food and beverage industry. Number 41. Salmon is a popular choice for many Americans due to its rich flavor and health benefits, particularly its omega-3 content. However, there's a significant chance that the salmon you're enjoying is farm-raised. Approximately 2/3 of salmon consumed in the U.S. originates from farms, while remaining third is wild-caught. However, salmon farming faces criticism from sustainability advocates due to the challenging conditions in which the fish are raised. Farm-raised salmon are typically confined to crowded cages and fed processed fish feed containing various potentially harmful chemicals, such as methyl mercury and dioxins. Moreover, these fish often receive antibiotics and other medications that may pose risks to human health if consumed. Number 40. U.S. milk. Developed by the agricultural biotech giant Monsanto, RBGH, known as RBST, gained FDA approval in 1993, enabling companies to produce large quantities of cheaper milk under less than ideal conditions at factory farms. Consuming milk enriched with hormones isn't the healthiest choice. Studies indicate that cows treated with RBGH produce milk containing higher levels of insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, which may elevate the risk of breast cancer and other cancer types. Fortunately, a 2014 USDA report revealed a decline in this practice, with only 9.7% of the U.S. dairy operations using RBGH. It's still advisable to opt for organic milk or products labeled "does not contain RBGH" to avoid potential health risks associated with hormone-enhanced milk. Number 39, U.S. prepackaged ground beef. You probably don't want pink slime in your burger, but chances are the ground beef you bought for your barbecue has it. Around 70% of ground beef sold in American stores contains pink slime, as reported by ABC News in 2012. Pink slime is a meat byproduct used to lower fat content in ground beef. Pink slime is treated with ammonia gas, a harmful substance for eating. The FDA approved pink slime for consumption in the United States in 2001. Number 38. Gatorade, a popular sports drink in the U.S., faces bans in Europe and Japan. In 2012, the European Union prohibited brominated vegetable oil, BVO, an ingredient previously present in Gatorade. Despite Gatorade modifying its recipe to eliminate BVO, it remains banned in certain European regions due to the use of artificial dyes by the company. This restriction highlights concerns regarding the ingredients and additives used in Gatorade, particularly artificial dyes, prompting regulatory action in some parts of Europe. As a result, Gatorade's availability is limited in these regions, while it remains widely consumed in the United States for its intended purpose of replenishing electrolytes during physical activity. Number 37. Wheat Thins. While Wheat Thins are a flavored snack in the US, they are unavailable in the UK, certain parts of Europe, and Japan. This is because Wheat Thins contains a chemical known as BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene, which some evidence suggests may be carcinogenic. Consequently, other countries have chosen to prohibit its inclusion in food products. The absence of Wheat Thins in these regions underscores their strict regulations concerning potentially harmful additives in food items. As a result, individuals in these countries may seek alternative snack options that adhere to their safety standards and regulatory requirements regarding food additives. Number 36. Ritz crackers. Due to their elevated levels of trans fats, Ritz crackers resulted in bans in several European countries. The decision aligns with evidence linking excessive trans fat consumption to health issues such as heart disease. Consequently, governments strive to restrict the presence of trans fats in food supply to safeguard public health. This proactive approach reflects the recognition of the adverse effects associated with trans fats and underscores the importance of regulating their inclusion in food products. By implementing such measures, authorities aim to promote healthier dietary choices and mitigate the risk posed by consuming foods high in trans fats, ultimately contributing to the overall well-being of the population. Number 35. Drumstick ice cream. You won't see Nestle's Drumstick ice cream in Europe because it's banned there. The reason? It contains carrageenan, a thickening agent made from seaweed in its cone. Carrageenan is added to extend the shelf life of products, but is also associated with inflammation and could potentially cause cancer. Due to concerns about its potential health risks, European regulatory bodies have decided to prohibit the sale of Nestle's Drumstick ice cream containing carrageenan. This decision reflects the stricter regulations and consumer protection measures in place regarding food additives in many European countries. As consumers become more aware of the ingredients in their foods and potential health implications, there is increasing food pressure on food manufacturers to use safer alternatives and adhere to more rigorous standards to ensure the safety and well-being of consumers. Number 34. Doritos Light. Fat-free doesn't mean worry-free. Doritos Light seems like a guiltless snack, but it contains a fat substitute called Alestra, which isn't healthy. Alestra, a synthetic fat, stops your body from taking in nutrients and can lead to problems like loose stools and stomach cramps. Because of this, Europe and Canada said no to the light version of this spicy snack. Number 33, Frosted Flakes. Remember BHT? The banned component in wheat thins? It's in Frosted Flakes too, where it serves as a preservative. That means that Frosted Flakes are also banned in Europe and Japan. Somehow, I think the kids survived just fine without Tony the Tiger. Number 32, Stovetop Stuffing. Kraft Stovetop Stuffing, while convenient for many American households, contains concerns due to its inclusion of BHA and BHT as preservatives. These additives, suspected of being carcinogenic and interfering with blood clotting, prompt health regulatory bodies in various countries to prohibit their use in food products. The United Kingdom, Japan, and select European nations have implemented bans on the sale of this stuffing due to these health risks. This restriction reflects a global effort to prioritize public health and safety by limiting exposure to potentially harmful substances in food. Number 31, Arby's sourdough breakfast bread, croissant, and French toast sticks. In America, a popular fast food place uses a chemical named azodiacarbonamide. They use it to make their baked goods look whiter and to help the dough stay soft. Even though people worry that this chemical might cause cancer, it's still allowed by the FDA in the United States. However, in Europe, they don't allow it. They banned azodiacarbonamide there. In recent years, there have been growing attention to ingredients used in food products, with consumers becoming more aware of potential health risks associated with certain additives. Azodiacarbonamide, despite its widespread use as a whitening agent and dough conditioner, has come under scrutiny due to concerns about its safety. While the FDA continues to permit its use in the United States, the decision to ban it in Europe reflects differing regulatory standards and priorities regarding food safety. Number 30, Poptarts. The vibrant breakfast treat includes food dyes Yellow 5, Yellow 6, and Red 40, which are considered safe for consumption in the United States but are restricted in use within the European Union. While Pop-Tarts enjoy popularity in the US, not everyone shares the same enthusiasm. In France, they're actually banned because they contain a lot of sugar and artificial flavorings. Instead, the French prefer their classic croissants, which are a staple of their culinary tradition. Number 29. Everyone loves Lucky Charms. The bright breakfast cereal achieves its rainbow colors through additives like Yellow 5, Yellow 6, and Red 40, which require warning labels in the European Union, are banned in Norway and Austria. While these additives are allowed in the US, they can cause itching and hives in some individuals. Despite potential health concerns, regulatory differences allow these additives to be used more freely in some countries compared to others. Consumers should be mindful of ingredient labels and potential reactions when selecting food products, as regulations and safety standards vary across different regions. Number 28. Bread tainted with potassium bromate. Potassium bromate serves as a dough strengthener in bread, facilitating a greater rise, shorter baking duration, and cost efficiency, while also imparting a vibrant white hue to the final product. However, its association with cancer, nervous system impairment, and kidney damage raises concerns about its safety. Despite being prohibited in the United Kingdom, Canada, Peru, and numerous other nations, potassium bromate remains prevalent in various American bread items, such as bagel chips, rolls, and breadcrumbs. The continued use of potassium bromate in American bread products highlights disparities in regulatory standards and underscores the importance of consumer awareness regarding potentially harmful additives in food. Number 27. Tostitos Salsa con Queso Dip. Tostitos Salsa con Queso Dip is a popular snack known for its vibrant color, thanks to additives Yellow 5 and Yellow 6. However, in Norway and Austria, these artificial colors are prohibited due to concerns about their safety. The European Union also requires products containing Yellow 5 and Yellow 6 to carry warnings on their labels, alerting consumers to their presence. This difference in regulations reflects varying perspectives on food safety and additives across different countries and regions. While these colors may enhance the appearance of the dip, the potential health risks have led to some nations to take precautionary measures. Number 26, Fresca. Fresca, a popular grapefruit-flavored citrus beverage produced by the Coca-Cola Company, employs bromine as a flame retardant to maintain the integrity of its ingredients and prevent separation. This practice, while common in the United States, faces regulatory restrictions in Europe, where bromine-containing ingredients, specifically bromated vegetable oil, BVO, are banned due to health concerns. BVO's potential adverse effects have led to its exclusion from food and beverage products in several countries. Number 25, Pillsbury Biscuits. Pillsbury Doughboys biscuits, with their promise of quick and easy fresh-baked bread, have long been a staple in many households. But the inclusion of partially hydrogenated soybean oil, the source of trans fats in the biscuit recipe, raises concerns about their impact on heart health. Trans fats, known for their ability to raise bad cholesterol levels while lowering good cholesterol levels, have been linked to an increased risk of heart disease and other cardiovascular problems. Despite the convenience they offer, consumers are urged to consider the potential health implications of regularly consuming foods containing trans fats. Number 24, papayas. In the United States and certain regions of Asia, farmers are actively developing virus-resistant strains of the fruit through genetic engineering. While these modified varieties are considered safe for consumption in the US and Canada, they are prohibited in the European Union. While the US and Canada have established regulatory frameworks that allow for the cultivation and consumption of genetically engineered crops, the European Union maintains stricter regulations reflecting concerns over the long-term effects and ethical considerations surrounding GMOs. Number 23, American pork. If you were thinking of bringing some smoked bacon or ham for your next trip abroad, it's essential to reconsider your plans. American pork faces bans in both China and Russia due to concerns about the adequacy of safety inspections on U.S. pig farms by the government. Although the Chinese government has eased its stance on the ban, Russia continues to uphold its prohibition on American pork products. Number 22, Sunkissed Soda. The citrus beverage contains artificial colors that are limited in Europe. In the European Union, products containing yellow 6 and red 40 must carry warning labels. While these additives enhance the drink's appearance, their use is restricted in a lot of places. Norway and Austria have taken a more stringent approach by outright banning these artificial flavors. Number 21, American cheese. When it comes to cheese, it's a different story depending on where you are. Certain European countries have stringent regulations on types of cheese they allow to be imported. For instance, processed cheese slices are still off limits in France. The reasons behind this prohibition are not entirely clear, and even the French themselves may not fully agree on the specifics. Number 20, Betty Crocker Fudge Brownie Mix. Whipping up a batch of brownies is a breeze with this beloved mix. Yet examining the ingredients uncovers that the product still includes trans fat. Despite recent bans on trans fats in the US, some products still contain traces. Moreover, these fats are under strict limitations in Switzerland, Austria, Hungary, Iceland, Norway, and Denmark. Number 19, Cheetos. Did you know that in the United Kingdom they banned Cheetos? The British government thinks these tasty snacks are not good for people to eat because they have a lot of food coloring. So they said no to Cheetos. It's a reminder not to break the snacking rules in the United Kingdom. Number 18, Bran Muffins. If you're thinking of taking a brown muffin with you to Sweden, think again. Brown muffins are not allowed there because Sweden has strict rules about what can be added to food. They really care about the quality and safety of what people eat. This makes sense, especially since Scandinavian countries are really good at reducing food waste. So if you're traveling to Sweden, better leave those brown muffins behind. Number 17, popcorn chicken. While popcorn chicken is a favorite snack in the United States, it's not the same story in Europe. Countries like Germany and Austria have actually made it illegal because it has a lot of saturated fat. So if you're planning to travel overseas, make sure to check if your snacks are allowed. You never know when your favorite treat might not be welcome in another country. Number 16, high fructose corn syrup. This sweetening substance, made from a mix of pure fructose and sugar, is linked to various health issues like obesity and type 2 diabetes. It's used in many things we eat and drink, like sodas, breakfast cereals, and ice cream. Although no country has completely banned the sweetener, some actions have been taken in the UK and parts of Europe. These include rules about how much can be used in products and limits on how much can be imported. Number 15, American Coke. Since 2005, Mexican Coke has gained popularity north of the border, true to its superior taste compared to American Coke. The difference lies in the traditional recipe using cane sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup. This variation in sweeteners could lead to American Coke facing restrictions or bans in much of Europe. American Coke switched to high fructose corn syrup in the 80s due to lower costs from corn subsidies and oversupply. Despite tasting similar to sugar, high fructose corn syrup affects the body differently and is linked to health issues like insulin resistance and diabetes. Number 14, all trumps flour. As we mentioned earlier, in the United States, the use of potassium bromate in baked goods has decreased, partially due to California's 1991 law mandating warning labels on foods containing the additive. To avoid this labeling requirement, most food manufacturers have stopped using potassium bromate altogether. One exception is General Mills' Gold Medal All Trumps flour, a high-gluten variety favored in baking goods like pizza crusts, bagels, and bread. Despite being available online and in professional kitchens, it's unlikely to be found outside the United States, as its use remains limited internationally. Number 13, Beyond Meatballs. In France, you won't find Beyond Meatballs because they don't use that name there. France loves meat, but they are trying to reduce meat eating to help the environment. Lyon, a city famous for meat, even stopped serving meat in school lunches, which upset some people. France is becoming more friendly to vegetarians and vegans, but there are laws to protect words related to meat and dairy. This means veggie burgers and sausages can't be called burgers or sausages. Instead, they use creative names like soy drink, veggie slice, or fromage, which mixes false and cheese. France is changing to be more vegetarian, but laws protect words related to meat and dairy. Number 12, M&M's. It's common knowledge that brightly colored candy relies heavily on food dye for its vibrant appearance. Research from Purdue University reveals that Skittles and M&M's contain significant amount of food dye, contributing to their trademark hues. However, M&M's lose some vibrancy outside the US as they are made with natural dyes in the European Union, making them safer according to EU regulations. This change occurred during concerns linking behavioral issues in children to the artificial dyes used in American products. Despite promises from Mars to use European formulations in the US market, they ultimately reversed their decision. As a result, America continues to use fluorescent candy coatings and their associated food dyes. Number 10, US apples. In 2014, the European Union stopped allowing U.S. apples to be imported. This decision was prompted by worries about the chemical DPA, which is used to prevent apples from getting brown spots after they're picked. DPA is the only pesticide approved by the EPA to extend the shelf life of apples, and it's crucial for the U.S. apple industry. The EU is concerned that DPA might turn into cancer-causing substances called nitrosamines after people eat the apples. So they set a limit of 0.1 parts per million for DPA on apples. Tests found that 80% of U.S. apples had DPA residue at 0.42 parts per million, which is 4 times the EU limit. Because of this, the U.S. apples are not allowed in the EU until more research proves that DPA is safe. Number 9, Farmer John pork breakfast sausage links. Some pork breakfast sausage links, like Farmer John's, contains BHT, which prevents the oils in the sausage from spoiling. This additive extends the sausage's shelf life, but is banned in Japan, Europe, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. EU authorities are concerned about the use of nitrates in breakfast meats like bacon and sausage, as they are linked to metabolic disorders and type 2 diabetes. While it's improbable to outright ban these beloved foods in the EU, there are discussions about advising people to limit consumption and possibly adding warning labels to these products. France has conducted research indicating the harmful effects of nitrates, prompting the EU to take a closer look at the ingredients used in processed meats. Number 8. Jello. Jello, a popular treat in the 1970s, faced scrutiny due to the dyes used in its bright colors. Yellow 5 and Red 40, found in Jello, were linked to hyperactivity in children and potential carcinogenic effects. Consequently, Austria and Norway banned these dyes. Plus, alternative gelatin-based products made with natural food dyes are available, and homemade versions can be easily prepared at home. Making your own gelatin desserts allows you to use natural ingredients for flavoring and adjust sweetness according to their preference. This alternative ensures a healthier choice without the harmful additives found in commercial Jello. So yeah, opting for natural ingredients not only simplifies the process, but also ensures a safer and more nutritious option for enjoying gelatin desserts. Number 7, Coffee Mate Creamer. In America, many people use Coffee Mate. In 2019, Europe made a rule about trans fats. They said processed foods can only have 2 grams of trans fats per 100 grams of fat, or 2%. But if you check the label on Coffee Mate, it says there are 0 grams of trans fats. That seems okay, right? Well, not exactly. The label is misleading. In the U.S., if a product has 0.5 grams of trans fat or less per serving, it can be called trans fat free. Since Coffee Mate suggests using 1 tablespoon, they can say it's trans fat free. But the truth is, Coffee Mate's original powdered creamer contains hydrogenated vegetable oil as the second ingredient. Number 6, American corn. The European Union has prohibited American corn due to its genetic modification, which makes it resistant to the ring spot virus. This kind of genetic modification has been associated with various health concerns, including multiple organ damage, large tumors, birth defects, sterility, and premature death. Despite assertions from the United States that these genetically modified organisms, GMOs, are safe, European countries have opted for a precautionary approach, choosing to prioritize safety over potential risks. Number 5, Alestra Olean. Alestra, also known as Olean, was developed by Procter & Gamble as a fat substitute used in fat-free snacks such as chips and French fries. It is calorie and cholesterol-free, despite being labeled as one of the worst 50 inventions by Time magazine 3 years ago. Food companies continue to use it. This is because people still believe that fat-free snacks are a healthier option, even though Alestra has received negative attention. Number 4, McDonald's. A widespread chain with 37,000 restaurants worldwide, is surprisingly banned in several countries like Bermuda, Iran, Macedonia, Yemen, Montenegro, North Korea, Zimbabwe, Bolivia, and Iceland. It's not just one food, but a whole chain that faces restrictions. These countries have varied reasons for the ban, which could be economic, political, or health-related. Some may also criticize McDonald's for its environmental practices. The American corporation is not well liked in these places. Because they believe it doesn't care much about people. Number 3, other flame retardant drinks. In the U.S., if you enjoy sports drinks, you're consuming a synthetic chemical called BVO. Originally created as a flame retardant by chemical companies, BVO competes with iodine for receptors in the body when ingested. This competition can result in iodine deficiency, which seriously affects health. Symptoms of bromine toxicity include skin rashes, acne, reduced appetite, fatigue, and irregular heartbeats. Number 2, Kellogg's Special K. In the UK, Kellogg's faced a halt in promotional ads for Special K cereal due to deceptive nutritional claims. Meanwhile, in Denmark, the sale of this diet cereal was outright banned in 2004. The reason behind the prohibition lies in the elevated levels of vitamins and minerals, which Danish regulators deem potentially toxic for children with regular consumption. Cereals, often criticized for their high sugar content and additives, have been a subject of scrutiny for years. Therefore, when purchasing a box, it's crucial to exercise extra caution and be mindful of the nutritional aspects. Number 1, chewing gum. In Singapore, chewing gum has been banned since 1992, except for nicotine gum. The ban aims to keep streets clean and free from sticky gum messes. Unlike in Willy Wonka's story, people don't need to worry about turning into blueberries from chewing gum. The ban was put in place to prevent gum from littering public places like streets and communities. Although there are some exceptions, like nicotine gum, it's rare to see people chewing gum while walking around in Singapore. The government made this decision to maintain cleanliness and hygiene in public areas, as reported by BBC News. And there you have it. We showed you 50 American foods banned in other countries. Which one shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching.